And we're back with some more RimWorld. And I think there might have been a few changes since the last time I played. Oh god, like this is the scroll bar over here and it's not moving. What? Yeah, we're just gonna say we've read those. Sure. No, we're starting a new game. Does it still have my old saves? Oh, yeah, that's a lot. 3 years, yep, that's a while back. Okay, let's start a new game. Alright, I get this. This is the scenarios for, I don't know, testing things or doing, practicing different builds. Tutorial and free play space age. This is where you basically play the game, you launch rockets, and once you get to the launch rockets, I think you get into the space age content. So this is for us. And then for map types, we've got... Alright. Rich resources is just easier mode. Marathon is basically 4 times the research length, so it takes you longer to get anywhere. Deathworld is much harder biters. Deathworld Marathon is 4 times as long at research, and the biters are trying to kill you every single second of the day. Railworld, that's the one I normally play, which is where the resources are spread very far apart, meaning you have to use rails to get everything. You can't survive on just belts alone. But the biters never expand, so it's usually safer, but you gotta go longer distances. Ribbon World is where there's not... The map is narrower. Yeah, I think... Nah, it's gonna be Deathworld, right? Yeah, just for a bit of funsies. I am not good at this with pressure, so this could not work. Let's just try a short one. There was a short one there, is it? Fine, there we go. Like, slightly shorter number. I don't know if it means anything, but we'll try it. Alright, let's go. A quick forward from Francis here before we get any deeper. I feel like I should warn the more experienced players. This is going to be more of a basic start. We're not going to be rushing through anything super quick. I just want to make this kind of friendly for people who haven't played Factorio before. So if you kind of would prefer to skip all of that, you might want to wait a few episodes until we get into the more meaty parts of it. If you are a newer player, then this might be just right up your alley, though. Well, at least we're not in a desert. Like last time I went random, I ended up in a desert. Yeah, explodey spaceship, the usual. Yeah, we done exploding yet? Okay, protect yourself from enemies as I might not appreciate your presence. No problems. Now, give me 8 magazines. Thank you. What else have we got here? Yeah, we'll take your iron plate. More iron plate. And I think I just ran into the fire. Yes, fire is hot. Stay away from the fire. Okay, we need to find the nearest patches of resources. And ooh, I don't think you could zoom out this far when the game was first released. We're going to need iron, copper, and coal. Iron and copper are our main 2 to start with. Yes, so iron down here immediately. We're also going to need some stone. Is there any big rocks? Yeah, there's a big rock right there. Let's grab you. Now, grabbing the big rocks gives you stone. Some of the big rocks give you stone and coal. We'll grab a little bit of wood as well. See, that wood is good. It actually absorbs... Those trees will absorb pollution. And we're going to be releasing a bunch of that soon. What'd you give us? Just stone? I was really hoping for a giant rock. I think the rocks... Some of the rocks would give you coal. I just know that. Oh, now, okay. That looks like a giant rock. Let's go have a word with that one. Gift me with coal. Ah, 50 coal from you. Oh, yeah, so the giant rocks do give you coal. My memory's not playing silly buggers on me. Actually, no, let's be honest. My memory is playing silly buggers on me. But not on that particular one. Okay, even more coal. Perfect. Alright, we got wood, we got coal, we got stone. Time to put down a little bit of basics here. First things first, this is a burner mining drill. It will mine resources. This sort of silvery stuff beneath us, that is iron ore. This burner drill will mine it, as long as we put a fuel in it. And beside it, we're going to put a furnace. Actually, wait, I gotta save this game. I figure we're going to die a lot, especially with me stopping to explain stuff. So, burner drill, well, is powered by coal, which then spits out this iron ore. This iron ore gets spit into this furnace. This furnace we power with coal, and then it smelts down the iron ore that comes in and turns into iron plate. And then that iron plate we can then use to craft stuff in our hands. This is referred to as the filthy pocket crafting technique. This will allow us to get a burning drill and a stone furnace. Then what we do is, well, we build another burner drill and another stone furnace. And we repeat the process. You can get that, and you can... Actually, that's too much. Give me half that coal back. You guys are getting a little bit too much coal. There. Then that gives us even more iron plate. And then we combine that iron plate with the stone we have to make another burner drill and another stone furnace. You can see where this is going. This allows us to scale up iron plate production quite rapidly. Also, I gotta turn off that music. Reason I gotta turn off the music is every time I edit out some of the boring bits, you're gonna be stuck with weird jumps in music, and it tends to weird people out. Or just irritate them. Alright, done. Okay, I just remembered one of the shortcuts. You hold down control, and you can left click on things to drag out the resources that are inside them, which allows us to pull out all the iron plates. Yeah, give me some more of those. I'm gonna want... What the hell just happened? T. We've unlocked steam power. That is incredibly necessary for what we want to do next, but first we're going to get our hands on a more sustainable supply of... Well, not sustainable supply of coal, just a more consistent supply of coal. For that, we're going to want about 4 of these burner drills. We already have 2. In fact, let's just put down another one of these while we're waiting. Oh, that is beautiful. Alright, let those smelt away. We need to go up to the coal. That's the black patch on the map. So we need to get to that coal and put down a few burner drills so that the burner drills can get us some coal as well. Then we're going to be trekking back and forth between those 2 points for at least a little bit until we start automating. The whole point of this game is to automate all the processes. So the first thing you want to do is, well, set up your basics. And oh my god, that's a tiny patch of coal. This is not going to go well for us, is it? Alright, you go there. You can go... What's the rotate button? Damn it. 4. Alright. And there goes there, and that goes there. Now, if you'll notice... When we hover over this, you can see that little yellow arrow? That's telling us where the coal is going to come out. So what we want to do is put one piece of coal, say, into this one. And then this thing will burn and power itself to produce coal. The coal that will dig out of the ground, it will spit into this one. And then that one will spit into this one, which will then spit into that one. And then the 3 of them just start spitting coal around in a circle. And are we done? Perfect. So now what's happened is you'll see this one's got 2 coal in it, 3 coal in it, and they're slowly going to accumulate coal. Oh, thank you, I'll take that coal now. This allows us to automate the production of coal. And then we'll pop back down and grab some more of those iron plates. Actually, should we do some copper now? Actually, nope, I don't have enough iron plates to do copper, but we will in a minute. And that's a whole bunch of iron plates. Excellent. Over here is copper. You don't need a lot of copper at the start, so what you tend to do is maybe put down 2 of them. You go 1 there and 1 there. And why is that ghost? I must have held something. It's the same as down below. We will fill you up with half coal. Done. Damn it. I really need to increase coal production on it. Oh, while we're doing this, I should probably go look at the map. And then what we want to do is, wow, there is a lot of stuff we can now turn on and off on the map. What I want is to show pollution. Where's the pollution? There it is. Pollution. Right, that redness is the pollution we're spreading out. And the moment it hits those bugs over there, they're going to become very angry with us and try to kill us. So, we should probably get some guns. First things first. To make better guns, we're going to need power. To make power, we're going to need iron plate. So, that's a whole bunch of iron plate. How are you guys doing on the coal front? Not so bad, actually. This here is the nearest body of water. And is that a fish? Give me that. Come here. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure you can eat those to restore health or something. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put down some boilers. The boilers will provide us with electricity, and you need electricity to make science. You cannot research anything without electricity. It's just the way it is. So, give us 1 boiler, 1 steam engine, 1 offshore pump. We're also going to need some sort of power pole. Yes, give us a small electric power pole. Burner inserter? Sure. And a wooden chest. Make iron chest. Nope. Wooden chest is fine. So, offshore pump. Sure. Then, we're going to need some piping as well. Give us 10 pieces of pipe should be grand. Then we're going to need 1 boiler. Yeah, this boiler basically takes the water and turns it into steam. Okay, so that's pumping the water. I don't think that it requires electricity. You know what? It doesn't make a difference. Then we want to hook up the boiler to it, the steam engine. Sorry, the steam engine takes the steam from the boiler and turns it into electricity. And then we need some sort of power pole to go beside it. There. Then we... Oh, yes. Put some coal in it. Done. That. Why is it burning so much? I think it has to actually fill up the boiler. That should slow down, right? Yes. Okay. So just needed a whole bunch to start. That's okay. Then we'll put down a wooden box beside it. The wooden box's job is to hold coal. Then what we'll do is we'll give it a burner inserter. Burner inserters are inserters that move things from one location to another. So this is going to grab stuff out of this box and then move it into the whatever thingy. So you'll see there, look, it's grabbing stuff out of the box, dumping it in there, and that should keep that going so long as we keep coal in the box. That gives us the power. Now we just need a research lab. So research labs are pretty basic. Requires iron plates and copper plates. It's the main reason you need copper plate at the start. Then, there's a whole bunch of subcomponents. Don't worry about them. You'll handcraft all of those like this is a filthy pocket crafter mentality, but it's what we're going with. We need... No, we don't need mags. What we need is light armor recipe. We should probably make one of those. Where is our inventory? I know there's an inventory thing that goes on here. Ah, bottom left. There it is. All right, so down at the bottom right left, you can see we've got some light armor on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this science lab down. This science lab eats science flasks. And oh my god, there's a whole bunch of different colors. Last I remember, there was only 5 or 6 science types. 7, actually. It stopped at white. So now we've got metallurgic, agricultural, electromagnetic, cryogenic, promethium. Right. Things, they are a-changing. And in that case, we need to make science flasks. Where are they? Exit. Give me 10. So, is it 10 science flasks to get guns? I want to say 10. 15 science flasks will gain us access to basically what looks like a sort of a submachine gun. It sounds like a grease gun. And I'll get us some other bits and bobs as well. Oh, shotguns. You know what? We will take you. And there is an in-queue research. So, can we queue up? Yes. Okay, gun turrets. Yeah, we're probably going to need those pretty soon. Logistics? Hells yeah. What's lamps? Ah, live in the dark. Walls. Go for it. The fact that you can queue up stuff now is just such a quality of life improvement. So we have 10 of those queued up. Let's make it another 15. Oh yeah. You just right-click. Never mind. Right-click will queue up the 5 at a time. And I think control will basically build as many of them as you possibly can. Alright, you. In fact, we may need to put down another science lab just to speed things along a little bit. Actually, 2 labs, a little bit better than 1. Sure. You know what? I gotta go check something. Yeah, this whole thing feels very familiar, and then I went back and looked at my old video on this. Yeah, I pretty much did very, very similar things. In fact, I built one science lab, then built a second one later on my old playthrough. It was just I had this weird tickle in the back of my brain. Have I done this before? Yep, definitely have. With that research done, we should now gain access to submachine gun. Let's go. And maybe give ourselves a few more mags. Perfect. Automation is complete. That means we can start making a few automated pieces to help out with production. For that, though, we're going to need a lot more iron and copper. Wait. No. Oh, God. I hate when they're this far apart. You much prefer if your iron and copper are much closer together, because that's the ones you run back and forth with all the time. That nest up in the top, it looks like it's expanding already. Yeah, that's what we get for playing on this difficulty, because we're idiots. Right, we've topped all of these up so they'll start processing again. How is our map looking? Alright. It's not looking great on terms of bug friendliness. That's fine. I'm sure they'll be down to say hello in a wee bit. We should probably not stop crafting. We should be crafting constantly. Give me, a bunch more of those. We need to put in some automation, though. We need to get down a few little things that'll automate science production. I just gotta remember how to do it. You see, what we need is copper plate and gears to go into the science crafting machine. So give me, say, 2... give me 4 of these. 4 of these assembly machines, we'll figure it out from there. We're also going to need some inserters. Basic inserters should be fine, so 10 of those. Shoot targeting. What? You can shoot enemy by pressing spacebar with your cursor near the enemy. You can choose a selected neutral or friendly entity by pressing shift and spacebar. Alright, so we can now shoot trees. Filthy trees deserved it. It was looking at me funny. Nope. Yeah, we got something going wrong over there. I'm going to presume that something is biters. Yep. Well then, how do we repair? So it turns out, to repair stuff, you need the actual research to repair. There's a repair research. We're a while away from that, so instead we'll just build some replacement drills. We'll get around to repairs at a later date. And I think we're going to chuck down a couple of gun turrets over here and some more ammo for them. Give me... Yeah, give me like 50 rounds. We should probably get into walls. Where are walls? Yeah, stone walls? Yeah, they're already queued up, are they? You know what? We'll do logistic belts after walls. So, this is the range on these turrets. We're going to put them beside each other, and we're going to stock them up with a bit of ammo. Hopefully that can buy them some time. And I should replace those drills that got destroyed. This is our first assembly machines. What we need to do is, well, produce red science in them. So you, red science? Yes, please. And you, red science. Okay. Out does it? Yes, out brings up the view of it so you can actually see them. Otherwise it won't tell you what's been constructed in a particular building. Give me a few more power poles as well while you're at it, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, you need copper and iron gears. So, we're gonna get you both of those. Question is, can we make enough iron gears out of one of them to feed both of them? You know what, I don't know what the production numbers are on these things anymore, but we'll do like a quick mock-up, and then I'll probably build a better one afterwards. Alright, just to give a simple idea of how it works. So those inserters are going to take the gears out of this and dump them into the red machines, or into the machines that are making the red science. And this thing here is going to need, well, iron plate to go into it. Now, we're not going to be able to do anything fancy with this. We're just going to dump in iron plate from a crate, like a savage. That just makes things simpler. And then we go, hey, you, give us some iron plate, and then give us a power... Oh, damn it, I keep hitting the shift key for that. I don't know why. It's a habit from something. It's Q. I should be hitting the Q key for copy. Okay, so this guy puts the iron plate into this machine. This machine produces the gears. The gears get shunted down into these two. Now I need copper to go into both of these. Oh, I've done this wrong. Yeah, I know what to do. Say take you instead... Put you there. Shift right click, shift left click. Yep. You can be removed. Place you there. Then we grab this guy, put him over here. You can also go, boom. Done. Okay, so now the gears get shunted down into both of those machines. Now we just need a second item, which is copper plate. Copper plate, pretty handy. I just realized if we want to make some wall segments, we're going to need some stone. So a few stone smelters are going to be required. Stone smelters? Well, brick. They make brick. Is what we want. Who's attacking where? Okay, they're attacking us again. 1 second while I set this up. I mean, those turrets should handle it, right? They better handle it. Wow. Okay, so the turrets almost handle it, but not quite. Well, that was expensive. Those things cost a lot of money. Yeah, we're going to need a lot more ammo, aren't we? When you smelt stone, you get bricks. And the bricks we use to make walls. And the walls can slow down the biters so that we have more of a chance to kill them. That's not a lot of wall segments. Ugh. Yep, we're going to need to start automating stuff a lot more, aren't we? At least Sorting will have repair packs. I had forgotten how hard it is to make walls. This is a very slow progress. But the more we expand wall production, the more we're going to annoy the biters. We're still going to have to do it, of course, but I'd forgotten how annoying it is. Alright, over here. You guys, you should be continuing to research. How is our steam turbine looking? What is your actual output? Power output, 160. Yeah, okay, you're doing... You've got plenty of leftover available power. It's cool. It's good. Hey! They've attacked our base again. I'm pretty sure there's 4 turrets over there surrounded by semi-permanent walls, or semi-walled in. Hopefully they can't do too much damage. And yes, they're all dead, and hey, they killed one of our coppers. Okay, and we've got our repair tools now so we can actually keep them all nice and spick and topped up. But yeah, we're going to have to replace those. We desperately need that copper to keep up the science research. In fact, I'll increase it just slightly. Oh my god, I just realized these ones are like 100. No, we can't. That's too many. I think we need to switch to another research. 100 research packs for those is just way more than we can afford. I think our best bet is steel pickaxe. You know what? No, we'll get heavy armor. Steel pickaxe. Oh, wait. character mining speed. Yeah, craft 50 steel beams. Okay, once we've craft 50 steel beams, we'll gain access to that. In that case, we will research everything else first, and we shall stop those two. Oh well. I was really hoping for those extra bullet damage, but, you know, it's fine. Oh, and I forgot to top up the coal on our research setup. This'll get you. This'll always get you. Hey, you've got plenty of coal now. You should run for a much longer period of time. Now, we have gotten our hands on electric mining, and electric mining would give us some options. So I think what we're going to do here is... One second. Give me another power pole. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is hook up a little bit of electric mining for the coal and iron so we can get a little bit of a smelting column going. I'm afraid the spaceship's going to have to go. Yeah, you just right-click on it and it just sort of vanishes. You can use it for storage and things or keep it around until later in the game, but yeah, I'm not that sentimental. And we just researched radars. Give me one of those, actually. What's the power drain on that? 300 kilowatts. I'm going to stick one down here so we can keep an eye out. I might want to put down a couple of gun turrets here as well. If our power supply goes, that would be very inconvenient. So a few gun turrets, it seems like a decent idea. For some reason, the footage covering this setup kind of just vanished. Don't know why. But it's very straightforward. The bits that we're missing is iron plate goes in here, gets turned into gears. Gears get dumped into the science machines. And then just copper plate in boxes. That's it. It's incredibly simple. Now... it's time to put together maybe a little bit of transport belt as well. Yeah, give me 50 of that. And we've got a couple of electric miners as well. I'm thinking we get started on putting together a little smelting column down here. Before we build that smelter furnace, we're going to chuck down a quick radar. Now, radars are kind of awesome in that, if you look at the map here, we can see that square around us. It's revealing everything inside that area, so even when we move, we'll still be able to see that. But as well as that, every so often it charges up. You can see the little charge symbol in the middle right. Sector scanning progress. Once that maxes out, which should be right about now. Did that just scan that sector? I think it scanned that sector. I remember it being bigger. Oh yeah, well, we haven't explored that area, but the radar has, and it'll scan the whole sector around, and then it starts refreshing. It's sort of like a passive way to scout without having to do much. See alert. Entities are being damaged. Right? Seems like the biters are back. You can see the little exclamation marks up here. And they're dead. Alright, let's grab some more wall segments while we're here. Okay, smelters. Smelters. We've been meaning to get around to that for about a bajillion years, and I think now's the time to actually start placing down the first ones. So, give us one of these and one of these. Now, these are splitters. They're normally meant for different things to what we're using them for, but in this instance, we're using them to make a nice little split that we can work on. And give us you. In fact, we may need to put you into our... and in there is fine. In fact, yeah, we can lock that segment. You. Give us... there. And how are you so far away? Okay, sorry about the distraction. There was some more biter attacks. Right. So, you go that direction. We now have two transport belts. One going left, one going right, and these two feeding in top and bottom. And to kind of give you an example of what we're doing here, we're going to stick down a mining drill. Let's stick this guy here on the far edge. Now we'll have you come up here. Then we'll have you feed in. Oop. And feed in right there. Now let's hook up some power to that so we can see what's happening as we do it. Now, if you're worried that we're going to get attacked and killed by biters, that's a very real fear. You can't reach. Ooh, and I'm pretty sure we can do this thing now where we just run and drag it. Ah, yes. This was such an improvement when they first introduced it. And then we'll just go across like this. Done! Oh, how's our map looking? Yeah, there. Oh. See? Scanned a sector over there. And we found more biters. Great. Well, it's the map we've chosen. Okay, with that hooked up, what we should do is come down here and find this mine is now spitting out ore. It's dumping the ore onto the belt, and then the ore gets dumped out here, where it gets split left and right. And you'll notice it's only on the one side of the belt. It's always on the left side of the belt. Well, okay, the right side. The side closest to us, let's just say. The bottom side of the belt. And that's because of the way this is set up. Now, we just wanted to split it across two. If we just wanted one belt like this, we could have actually done that. And what would happen is the ore would come here and still end up on the right. But we want to split it off just for reasons that will become clear in a bit. All right, next stage is taking that ore and turning it into, well, smelted steel plate. To do that, we're going to get our hands on a few inserters. We're manually crafting all this stuff so far because that's all we can really afford to do. What we'll do here is we will grab the ore off the belt. The ore will get put into this smelter, and then from there we'll chuck it out the opposite side. However, there is other problems that need to be taken care of. Damn it. Spiders. They're not conducive to a tutorial, are they? Or explaining stuff. Oh my god, that's a lot of biters. That was an awful lot of biters. And it destroyed all our coal production. We're going to need to improve our defenses, aren't we? Like, by a lot. Ah! I can hear them attacking the mines we just put down there. Yeah, well, I figured this was always going to happen, so I figured what I'd do is, if things get bad enough, I'll just, like, load up from the start, quickly run through all of this again, get to this point, save it, and then, like, well, come back and show you what we did. And that was just one biter. Okay. That was actually not the worst thing that could have happened. That could have been far worse. Now, excuse me for 1 second while I run back and forth like a lunatic, fixing all the things they broke. Okay, this is just about set up. What we need to do, though, is get one over there, get one over there. Perfect. Now, they've all got their iron in, but they don't have their coal. So now what we're going to do is dump in a whole bunch of coal here. Then we're going to put in an inserter right beside this and tell it to dump coal onto the line. And as it does, the coal comes out here and gets split equally because of the splitter. Gets split equally the other side and gets fed down to the smelters. So now we're able to pull coal and iron off the same belt to feed these smelters. And it just works out really nicely. And because we're feeding onto two of them, in theory you can extend this on long enough until you're consuming an entire belt of iron ore to make a full belt of iron plate. And that's the theory behind all of this. And it just, well, cuts down on this mess down here, and it's sort of cleaner and more efficient as well. I should probably make a bunch more transport belt and extend this on a whole bunch. Oh, great. We're redlining the grid. Something's wrong, probably out of coal. Oopsie, my bad. Don't worry, we can fix that. You take all the coal. Perfect. Now, let's move away from these smelter-based ones. The thing about the smelters is, good as they are and power-independent as they are, it's actually more cost-efficient to take the coal and turn it into electricity and then feed that into the miners. I think in terms of pollution as well. And we'll pop over and grab this. So let's rip out the entire iron smelting column and replace it with the electric ones because, well, it'll hopefully cut down our pollution, which will hopefully cut down on our biter problems, at least a little bit. At the same time, we are going to install more power. And I think we're going to have to simplify things a bit. 1 second. Ah! Something's attacking us again. I haven't even finished. I should put some turrets down there. Hey, well, I was going to demolish that anyway, so it actually kind of helps. And I should probably put a few turrets down here. Okay, simple plan here. We're going to have a burner inserter, pick up coal. Then it's going to dump that coal onto the line. The coal will come down here and get fed into these. So that needs to go and be replaced by transport belt. Boom. Now it'll take a few minutes for this to actually catch up. This one's got to catch up with a lot of burning. In fact, we may speed you along just a little bit. There we go. So that means we can expand that out a bit as well. Oh, and you. Can we get you in range of a power pump? Ah, now I remember. You delete this. You put in a pipe. You chuck that pipe in there. Then you put on the steam engine, and then you put a power pole in the middle. Yes. And then you repeat that procedure there. Just, it's more convenient this way, just putting that. This allows the steam to travel through. Pipes carry steam, water, all sorts of things. And there we go. We have now got power sorted. In fact, maybe let's just increase power a little bit more so we don't have to come back here for a while. What am I missing? Stone? Oh my god. Hey, I'll go chop up a rock. It is far more efficient to chop up a big boulder than it is to go stand on some stone and start mining it manually. That stuff is just so slow. Especially because we don't have steel yet. Steel gives you access to a pickaxe, which allows you to mine a lot faster. Anyway, Down here, we're reasonably well protected, and I'm also going to have to churn out some more ammo. I don't think we have enough to keep all of our turrets fully stocked at the moment. Oh. Um... That's not great. Right, I think we need to improve ammo production substantially. Right, power is up. Some extra power. Good. Down here, this thing's been on for a while. We haven't actually done anything with it. Do we have... Yes, we do have turrets here. And those turrets have also been taking care of business down here. You can see the corpses. Hey, you guys all need to stop. We're going to take you all out. Okay, we've got iron on this belt, and then we can snort it off the line by just holding an F. That basically cleans it all out. Then we can continue this on just a little bit more. And this should hopefully be a cleaner way of making the iron plates so that we get less biter attacks. Or maybe our... No, our pollution stat is ridiculous. We should probably close down industry just a little bit, or at least curtail our production just for a little bit. Right, a little bit of ammo production. How long will that take? Oh, we definitely need a high-speed inserter for that one. That one looks like it's taking too long. How about now? Okay. Yeah, it seems to be keeping up. And that means we'll get at least a stable supply of ammunition for the turrets. Alright, and when it comes to research, we're actually down to the last two. Perfect. Should probably make it around to steel as well. Steel will also allow us to gain access to armor-piercing ammo, and I think that is going to be absolutely essential. Finally, smelter column is kinda decent. That should take over any problems we had, and we got enough coal to keep all of these running. And that gives us enough iron plate to definitely feed down here to start stockpiling ammunition. Let's maybe... Can we... Damn it. I can't remember. There was some way to actually scooch this off so certain parts of it couldn't be used. You know what? Not going to worry about it. We're going to need all that ammo anyway, so we'll take all of that. And we need to maybe start thinking about putting up a curtain wall. Yeah, we're going to need to automate wall production, and we're going to need a lot of wall to keep us safe. The scanner is finding... we got copper ore over there, but that's it. We're going to need another patch of iron soon, so we're probably going to have to wall in our little area. Once we've walled it in, put in turrets, and then from there, explore and start finding something else. Because once that art coal runs out, we're in a lot of trouble. I want to simplify ammo delivery for these turrets, because it's a pain in the butt otherwise. We got the water here, so at some point biters are going to come through here, I'm pretty sure. How many turrets we got? 5. Perfect. So we'll put one there, and then we'll have an inserter grab ammo and put into it, and then daisy chain them something like this. And I don't have the necessary inserters, do I? We want fast inserters. We only need 4 of them, but I'll build a few extras. And on top of that, we're going to need a bunch of wall segments as well. Alright, you. We want you to take ammo from that crate and dump it into that gun. And then we want you to take ammo from that gun and put it into that gun. And then into that gun, and then into that gun. And then they'll just daisy chain around, providing ammo to each other. Now, let's see. Perfect, that provides power to everything. Then we just need walls. Hurry it along, the biters are going to be back any minute, you know. Right about there. Yeah, perfect. Oh, it's fine. We can delete some of those. All right, perfect. Then all we do is fill this up with ammunition. 100 should work. And since they're not doing anything, we shall... Guys? Ah, there we go. Alright, so this one grabs the ammo and dumps it into that turret, which daisy chains all the way around. This one's up to 10. Once that one's up to 10, it'll start stockpiling in the next turret. And boom. So basically, we're able to dump in 100 ammo in there, and that 100 ammo should keep those turrets fed. And anytime it starts to run low, we just dump more ammo in that chest. It simplifies things and saves us time. Then we just have to repeat that down here. And there we go. Second little defensive nub. We're going to need a few more of those as well. But, hey, how's the ammunition looking over there? And it's 172. Perfect. Of course, we are producing enormous amounts of pollution to produce that ammunition, which is probably not great. And only these two... Yeah, these two have started stockpiling iron plate. That one as well, but all the rest are pretty much flat out. So 1, 2, 3... So it's about five and a half smelters are basically churning out to keep that thing running. We really should get into the second level of research. The second level of research gives us access to military level 2. Military level 2 gives us armor-piercing rounds, which well, okay, that's going to require steel plate. That's expensive, but more importantly, grenades. That means we can start clearing out some of the nests. The problem is, we're going to clear out the nests a lot. There's a lot of nests around here. To produce the next type of flask, we've already got the red ones pretty much finished. We're just doing weapon shooting speed, which is the last red science. Now we got to go into the green stuff. No, I'm also going to need steel. Did I start the steel smelting? You know what? We need 50 steel, so let's start smelting that now. You, give me one of these. I think we can just do this in a sort of a reverse way. You go in there. Perfect. And say you pull from the other side. You should only pull the coal. Yeah, see? Easy peasy. Then we'll just output you with a red inserter to a wooden crate. And a long arm inserter, they're weird. They basically can go 2 tiles. So that allows us to, well, pull the steel plate out of that. And that should keep going for ages. Once we've got about 50 of those, we'll have knocked out steel axe. And once we get steel axe, it increases your mining speed. Is that it? I thought it also increased other things like your ability to chop down trees. Maybe trees is also considered mining? Anyway, doesn't matter. Green science. So, green science requires 1 inserter and 1 transport belt. You build those, chuck them into it, and it will churn out a green science flask. First up, transport belt. Easy peasy. Iron plate, we got that over there. Iron gears, that's no problems. Iron gears are made from iron plate, so that's basically just iron plate with some extra steps. This over here is the inserter. Inserter requires iron plate, easy peasy, and iron gears, which is basically iron plate with extra steps, so that's easy peasy as well. It also requires, though, an electronic circuit. Electronic circuit requires an iron plate and copper cable. So copper cable will require copper plate, which is not iron with extra steps. That's actually just straight up copper. Which reminds me, we should grab some more of that. We're starting to run low. So we're going to plug that into the system, and we're going to start using that to churn out the green science. And then with the combo of the green and red, we should be able to knock out all the green and red. We're still just basically doing the early game stuff at this point. Yeah, we'll grab all of you. And we haven't attacked in a while. I think... yeah, our pollution cloud went down a bit. Just barely. How are you guys looking? 23 rounds, 27, 23, and 23. Should really fix those up as well. Nope. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, it's time to put together some green science real quick. We've almost knocked out this other science, and once that goes through, well, we really got to start on the next stuff. We are going, I know, terribly slowly, but I'm trying to be... well, some people have never played this game before, so I'm probably going way too fast for them. And for the people who've played this for a bajillion hours, we're going way too slow. And a simple enough plan. We're going to get... this here requires cogs, and this here requires cogs. And since the 2 of them require cogs, the general tradition is to place a cog machine in the middle of the 2 of them. So what we'd say do is go... we'll place a transport belt there. Damn it, wrong button. And then after we've placed the transport belt there, we place the... inserters here. Then what we do is we grab these guys and we go, hey, dump some cogs into both of those machines. That feeds their cog needs of both of those. We don't have to do anything about it. Well, okay, we do have to actually set up the cogs. The cogs just require iron plates. So we pull iron plate off this belt here, which is fed by our smelters. I mean, this is all very temporary. We just want to knock out the first 2 techs just to get our foot in the door, and then we'll build a more permanent base. For now, we're just trying to get everything up higgledy-piggledy wherever it'll go. All right, with those 2 set up that way, get rid of that. We also need green circuits to go into this thing. This will be actually very similar. We're going to be very lazy about this. We're going to have those feed in directly, and all they require is iron plate and copper cable. But that's not too hard. We take the iron plate off the belt, and then we just need the copper cable right here. We'll have to manually feed this, at least to start. We'll come up with more automated methods later, but for now, that copper cable just requires copper plate, which means give us a chest here. Actually, put it there. Yeah, you. Perfect. And boom. Then we just stick in some copper plate, and that'll at least get us started. All right, so that's both of those done. That just leaves the green itself. Now, that requires the inserters and the transport belt. So whatever's coming out of here and here. So we're probably going to want to place this... we're probably going to want 2 of these. Actually, yeah, we're definitely going to want 2 of these, aren't we? Okay, so we're gonna have these guys come out here and here. Then we're gonna put wooden chests as a sort of a buffer. Then we're gonna do this very lazy method of just dumping them onto transport belts. Oop. And that's way too close. Damn it. Okay, there we go. Better. Actually, while that's winding up, we'll actually start the production cycles. You can go... Oh, damn it. Give me a better line. There. Perfect. And you guys can go there. You know, what am I worried about? These are power poles. They're cheap as chips and easy to manufacture. All right, and that just leaves... You can go there. Oh, and power, of course. Okay, I think we're started at least? Okay, so green started there and there. Now we just have to get them out of there. Oh, I never left an output line, did I? Damn it! What we're going to try here is underground transport belts combined with some long-armed inserters. This should be fairly handy. There's always ways around your stupidity. Now, that goes to there. That goes to... Nope, we'll get you a transport belt. And done. Now we have a way to output them. Then we just got to move the science labs over here. Oh, and we're also going to need to replicate this production. Right. That might take a second. All we need for that, though, is gears. So that should be fairly fast. So this over here is my attempt at replicating the red setup. It's very straightforward. Iron plates come in here, get turned into gears. Gears get spit out into that line, fed down here. And then those gears get fed into red science flasks. Oh, and copper comes in here. We're going to have to... start that as well. And what the... Why is there gears on the line? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Sorry, 1 second. We'll just snort these off the line, then put down that. I was actually outputting cogs onto the side of the line. I don't know why. You know, it just brain stupidity. Alright, you. Put some... Could have sworn there's a way to drop that. You know what? Doesn't make a difference. There we go. Perfect. Alright, I think we're going to have to improve iron smelting. Why are you guys not operating? Okay, we don't have enough iron coming in. You have stopped producing. 1 moment. Okay, that will improve it slightly, but what I really want to do is actually hook up a little bit of copper smelting as well. We're going to run low on copper too. And since that weapon shooting is almost done, we actually finished steel axes. Since steel axes, we got steel axes because we crafted 50 steel plate. And you are finished. Excellent. That means we can start moving on to the next one. I think the first thing up has to be defense. We're playing on the hard difficulty, but it hasn't actually come back to bite us just yet. Well, only mildly bite us, so maybe staying ahead, that'd be good. More advanced material processing allows us to use less coal when we're making stuff, so that's probably a good idea as well. I'd also like to get my hands on an engine so we can get ourselves a car. Ooh, that... Actually, if we research that, does it unlock anything else? No, it doesn't. You know what? Well, yeah, there it is. Red and green. Okay, so we can get a car that way. I would like to get a car so we can start exploring. That means all of these can now go. Right, give me 2 research labs. We'll put them, say, this side. Yeah, should be plenty fine. We don't actually need too much here. We're just trying to get the basics of research up and running. Right, so... Green science comes down here, gets picked up by the long-armed reds, and then the red science gets picked up by the short-range blues. Blue inserters, and that's it. And then the research starts up. Now, we don't have much red coming through right now because there's not enough iron plate making it down the line. That might be because, yeah, well, we're stockpiling an enormous amount of transport belt. I should probably limit that. And I figured it out. It's, you click on that, and boom. In fact, let's make it to there. And we'll take that transport belt, thank you very much. Yeah, good. That should mean these things will back up a bit because they won't be producing as much. And we've already locked down this section so we won't be overproducing inserters. And I think that should mean... Yeah, the iron ore should flow better now. Also, maybe a couple more mines wouldn't hurt. With literally a couple of extra miners, we've managed to saturate the iron belt. You can see that the iron is actually now starting to flow all the way down to the end, so all of those furnaces are now working. But we still have a problem. We need more copper. We need a lot more copper going into the system. How are you looking over there? Yeah, you're a bit low as well. Alright, so we need to quickly put down a copper mine. Now, one of the things I did over here, I changed out our little Ouroboros setup of 8 burner miner drills for 4 regular mining drills, all feeding into wooden chests. And the reason for this is probably not super obvious, but it's to do with pollution and efficiency. Basically, if we hover over this burning mining drill, we can see that it has a mining speed of 0.25 a second. So every 4 seconds, it produces 1 coal or something along those lines. Pollution is 12/M. Don't ask me. It just means that red glow grows bigger when it emits pollution. But then if we put over the mining drill, the mining speed of the electric mining drill is twice as fast, meaning you get twice as much ore in, well, the same amount of time. However, it takes up more space, but it produces less pollution than the burning mining drill. So it produces less than 10N, which is half as much, while at the same time producing twice as much ore, which means you can get far less pollution, which is far less annoying to the biters, which means you get less attacks. Now, I'm trying to make this as friendly as possible to newer players, but there's probably stuff I forgot. If you have any questions, let me know. It's just a case of everything you do produces pollution. The pollution annoys these red blobs that are biter nests, and then those biters are going to come in, and they're going to get worse and worse. As this game goes along, they are going to start getting, they're going to expand their nests out, they're going to get more and more inside of our, encroach into our pollution, and we're going to have problems. And the only thing we've got to provide power right now is that small little patch of coal. Actually, 223k, 233,000? That's actually a decent-sized patch, I think. I don't know why it's played. I'm not sure if that's a decent-sized patch. But we need it. That coal is basically our power supply and smelting. Without it, we can't make iron plate, can't make copper, we can't do anything. It's basically our be-all, end-all. So we want to get a car, we want to start exploring, and we want to find a second batch of coal. So what we'll sort of do is sort of wall in, put some turrets in, sort of hard point turrets in different places to make sure that we don't get overrun, and then do some expansion to find out where we want to put a real base. And then we might have to actually clear out some baddies as well. Over here, we have a little bit of an iron problem. You notice it's all backing up onto one line. It's just the way it's organized. We can fix that real quick. What we can do is... Actually, let's do 2 of them. We're going to put in a splitter, and then just have it feed back on like that. And then we'll do the same thing on the other line. That way they should load bear. Or not load bear. Damn it, let me explain it better. Balance. That's the word we're looking for. So we'll just do that. And now both of them will stockpile up a bit better. It gives us a thicker line of iron. And then, oh yeah, coal. We should probably chuck in a bunch of that. There you go. And we should probably make sure to top up power as well. But that should at least get us over the early game hump. We can now basically knock out all of the red and green signs. Once that's done, we'll have enough tech to be, well, semi-capable of taking out some miner nests. Reminds me, we should make some grenades. Grenades only cost 10 coal and 5 iron plate. And they are a wonderful addition to our weaponries. However, I am miles over time already. Next up, we're going to get our hands on a car. We're going to use that car to start scouting, and we're going to figure out what we're supposed to do to survive in this area. Haven't tried it on heavy biters before. I'm more of a take my time sort of person, so having a little bit of a clock is definitely going to make things more motivational. Worst case scenario, though, if we do get wiped, all I'll do is I'll reload from the start and then just go through the playthrough again, but just off screen, and then cut back in, and hopefully a faster constructed base. It's been a while since I played, so I'm going to be a little bit slower. Also, the tutorial is probably half for you, half for me. It's been a few years since I put in any effort in this. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck.